Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to have this chat with the beautiful Brianna. She's one of my clients and a colleague in the industry. And I'm just so pumped to bring to you her results and talk to you about her journey with coaching and what she's been able to produce, because she's achieved extraordinary things. And I really want this to inspire you guys. If you've got big goals and big dreams, everything is possible for you as long as you decide that it is for you. And then you take that massive action, which Brianna, like when she decides, she goes out, takes massive action. And I just want her to be a shining example for every single one of you of what is possible for you. So welcome, Brianna.
Hi, thank you so
Hi.
much, Tiffany. You are so awesome. I couldn't have done anything without you. And I'm so glad that I chose you as my coach because, whoa, I interviewed at least 3. And actually, Tiffany, you were the last person I interviewed. And I was like so blown away by our over the phone interview because you were coaching me through the interview. And I was like, this girl, she's got it all together. She's so thorough, so enthusiastic. She was just pulling things out in the first interaction with her. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Oh, you're so welcome. And you know what? You would have done it without me, but it always helps to have a powerful coach in your corner because you're powerful. Like you are a super powerhouse. So just tell everybody, what you do and what you do. I think that's relevant here.
Yes. So I'm a realtor. I'm also a real estate investor. And before I met Tiffany, I was not a real estate investor. And so I needed help in my business, wanting to take my business to the next level, just as a buyer's agent on a team. And so Tiffany helped me really hone in on what I need to focus in on. And one thing that was huge is time. Time and managing your time every 15 minutes. And at first, when you told me this, I was like, Tiffany, I'm already busy. I can't be documenting what I do every 15 minutes. But it was actually one of my favorite things that I've done. I was able to see what I did throughout the day. And also, Tiffany told me about batching. Great. Because your mind's going all different kinds of ways, and we think that we can multitask, which we can, but it's so much easier to batch. And I thought that was such a good lesson learned.
Yeah, I mean, for all the entrepreneurs out there, time management, I'm like with everyone, Brianna, I'm like, no, you're gonna track your time. I'm gonna look at this because it's so important to everything that we want to achieve, not just in our business, but in our life, and optimizing and having a lot of time off and time freedom. So before we get into kind of all the other results that you've been able to create, because I know you've, started another business, you've been able to have more time with your family, all sorts of good things that everyone wants to get to. Were there any, because let's backtrack just a little bit. So were there any, because I know you were interviewing other coaches, right? And a lot of people do this. And I think this is really good for people to do, because if you're not, if you're not feeling it and you're not in an energetic alignment, you're not going to get the results out of the coaching journey that you want, right? So I like it when people tell me that, because I'm like, okay, cool. And then I know when they come back that it's actually a great fit. And I don't offer a spot to work with me with everybody either, right? It goes both ways, because if I don't feel like we're a fit, I'm not going to have you in my world for 6+ months. We're on our second round of coaching, so we're going to be together for like a year plus. And so I want to surround myself with people who want to be there, and who are going to take that action to get the results like you have. So were there any sort of hesitations or fears or objections that you needed to work through on your own before signing up for the program?
So, I know all, people who are good at stuff have coaches. So I was like, I probably need a coach, but thinking, is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? Are they really going to help me? Am I really going to get results? Who's going to be my coach? Like, what if I don't like them? What if I don't want to do what they want me to do? What if I'm not even in this role long enough to even need a coach? And so all those thoughts were coming up to my head, and then, going through that process, a lot of the coaches that I did interview, they were like more telling me about like their packages and who they were and stuff. And, obviously we needed to know about who's coaching us, but Tiffany really like asked me questions. Really, it was more me focused so that she could know what to even coach on. That's really
Yeah, and I think that's like the personalization because, I really want to get to know my clients. I really want to get to know you guys and like have that in-depth sort of relationship with you and make it about you because it's not about me. You can go read on my website all my credentials. You can read on the website what's included in the package. It's more important that we actually get to know each other on that call on an energetic level, on like a mindset level. Like I got to know where you're at. You got to know where I'm at, and like, I think that is the relationship building that's needed to actually have great progress during coaching in general, right? Because this is never about me like telling you what I do or what you're supposed to do. Like that's not what coaching is, right? Of course, there's an element of mentorship where, if I have certain results that you don't have, like it's helpful to hear my mindset behind things. It's helpful to hear my processes behind things. But then we also always want to come up to what is in alignment for you. If you don't like doing something that I do, like you don't have to do that. There's so many ways to be successful and to get to the next level. Everyone's path is so unique. And so really discovering that during the coaching is very powerful. And especially in that initial intake call. So I'm so happy that you said yes, you pulled the trigger and we are here today. So what would you like to share with everybody? Like what are the main breakthroughs that you had? What categories of life were elevated for you? Because I know a big thing was like the mindset of you get to have it all. It's not a this or that. Brianna gets to have all the things she wants, like in her business, in her life, as a mother, as a wife, and as a leader in the church. All of those things are very important to you. So I would love to share with everybody what like the whole viewpoint now looks like for you in your life.
Yes, so it is true. You can have it all.
Woo, yes. Yeah. We're finally there.
Yes. So as a real estate agent, I had the biggest month of my career. And so that was really exciting to celebrate with Tiffany. Also, I'm a mom and a wife and a church member. So being able to have more time for my family, knowing what my whys are and what drives me to do what I do, being able to be focused. Also, a big thing I told Tiffany was I wanted to get in shape and lose weight. And so I joined a gym and I'm committed to going 5 times a week. And I've lost 13 pounds because of it. So just
that is extraordinary. That's a new update for me, I think.
Yes. So in all areas of life, I've definitely seen an exponential growth in not only my business, but in my marriage, in my being a mother. I learned things with Tiffany and I'm like, oh, I can do that with my kids. And it's so good.
Yeah, because I know that we were doing at one point a lot of emotional intelligence work, emotional regulation work, which isn't only necessary as a business owner and an entrepreneur, to manage our reactions and emotions to what's happening in our business, but to everything that we're doing in life. And so a lot of these, it's a skill set. We go over a lot of different skill sets in the coaching that apply to so many different areas of life, so that you can be where you want to be. So I really love that. I know that we did a lot of routine work with you. So we got a lot of routines and foundations put in place. Like what were those? Like, let's talk about that. Cause I think everyone can use an up level in their routines.
Yes. So morning and night routines are huge. To be consistent throughout the day, to have consistent mornings and evenings. So I was able to, map out a consistent routine in the morning so that I can be ready, alert, energized, and focused on what I need to do during the day. And then getting my body, my mind ready for sleeping at night was huge. I wouldn't be able to have the days that I have without my morning and night routine for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all of that sets us up for success in every different category of life, to have the energy and the vitality to move everything forward. And so I really love that. And I want to touch on you and the courage that it took to take the leap and do something else, add to your business in a way where you're going to branch out from just being not just being, but like doing real estate, and then doing it in this way for the investing. So you're adding a whole nother branch, a whole nother leg to your expertise here in the real estate world. And I just want to touch on that because, a lot of people, they don't have the courage or the confidence to really open up, to go out and do something outside of what they've done and they know how to do well and they're succeeding at, and, they get a little comfy. And I know at some point we keep talking about and going over like, okay, what are we doing here that's comfortable? And we keep pushing you outside of your comfort zone and challenging you. And what helped you to be able to do that? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Because I definitely have a lot more confidence. I think it was the confidence that gave me the courage to be able to, because I was working like under a team. And so being able to say, I can do this, like I can be making a lot more money, focusing on what I need to focus on and just thinking bigger. And so working with you, Tiffany, helped me even think bigger and gain the confidence to know that really I can do anything. Why not? Why not? Because I have a coach that's coaching me through this whole thing. You think about this is it. It's a mindset shift. Tiffany will ask questions that will change the whole mindset, and then it like opens doors for you to be able to do more and more things. Like for example, there's things in our business that we do that maybe might not be fun. And I always told Tiffany like, oh, well, I'm going to do it just so I can be done with it for the day. And that's what's going to make me happy. And she's like, no. Like, that's not. And so one thing that she taught me was, Brianna, because one of my 3 words is fun. She said, how can you make it fun? And always going back to your 3 words. How can you make it fun? And when I can make it fun, it's fun. And so then I'm excited to do it. And I'm constantly asking myself, how can I make this fun? Whether it be dancing, listening to music, getting a reward after, boxing Tiffany, telling her, hey, I did it. Or, another level of accountability also, like being able to go to the gym 5 days a week. I know that on Friday, I'm going to social media saying, hey, 5 days. And like, that's like, helps me keep going more and more and more.
So for those of you, for everybody, what the 3-word thing is that I help my clients to really identify like who is that next level version of them. And then we hold the accountability for them to show up that way every single day. Right? Because the results that you're creating today is a direct reflection of how you're showing up every day. So if you are able to step into a higher level of power on a daily basis and just have these words, like you hold a bigger context for your life and how you want to show up for everything in it. And so to have those reminders and to have a coach that, is back behind you saying like, how did today go? Did you show up as that best version of you, the most ideal version of you, the version of you who creates the results you told me that you want to create? Is so powerful because my coach, I do the same thing. I lean into her like every single day, and for those of you who don't know what we use an app called Voxer. And we do voice coaching and my clients get a high level access to me. So every day, like they can talk, we're talking back and forth, like, on a regular basis. And I think that also makes the coaching so powerful because it's not like we're just waiting for that 1 hour weekly or bi-weekly session. It's like, no, we actually work through things in real time. When Brianna's having trouble with her mindset, she could like tap in. And I know for me, it's like a game changer when I do this with my coaches because it's like real-time support that helps get you through, and you're not waiting around, you're not having to live in indecisiveness. You actually have someone to come in and talk through things with and be like, hey, yo, I'm struggling here, or to celebrate with, like Brianna comes in and she's like celebrating in the Voxer with me. And it's just so fun, to be doing life and business together. What would you want to tell people who are thinking about getting a coach in general, or who have big goals and big dreams about getting support? Because I know that you had in the beginning, you were like, well, is this even going to work? Do I actually need support? I know, highly successful people, they all have this. So should I have this? So like for that person who's really teetering on the fence of it, like, what would you say to that person?
Yes, great question. And I've told my friends the same thing. You need a coach. It's not if, or like, it's not even something to think about. Like, you absolutely need one, because I say every day, Tiffany is worth every little penny. Seriously. Don't even think about the cost, think about the value that she's bringing and that you're bringing to your business, just being there and present all the time. The weeks are long and a lot of stuff happens in just a day, but having that focus, having that cheerleader coach, somebody that can help you focus in and also think outside the box, giving you a mindset shift. We all need that.
Yeah. And I like to tell people, like, what is it costing you not to have a coach? Like, you don't even know that until you hire one and you see, like, oh my God. Because a lot of my clients are like, I wish I should have just done this so much sooner, or, like, where would I be if I had just taken the leap and done this like so long ago? And so it's like, yeah, what is it like? Think about what it's costing you not to. And I'm not just saying I believe in the power of mentorship and coaching because I'm a coach and a mentor, right? Like, I've always had my own coaches before I was even a coach, And so I've always believed in the power of like having someone to be around, to calibrate to, like energetically too. Just having someone, like, just knowing that you have someone to lean into, and it like gives you almost a floor when you feel like you're ungrounded, because entrepreneurship can feel like such a roller coaster ride. And if you don't feel like you have a floor or you have a support system, like, it's really hard to do it alone. We're not meant to do it alone. That's why they're like, you can go so much further faster with people in your corner, And so a lot of people too that are entrepreneurs or business owners, they have big visions and dreams, and not necessarily their friends may not be entrepreneurs or business owners, and like they may not get it, and their family may not understand their vision. And so just having someone who can really hold your vision for you when you forget, like, that's what your vision is, or some days you just don't feel powerful, like, to have someone in your corner reminding you of that power is of your power and like who you are, because we forget when we get caught up in like the negative downward spirals, or we're beating ourselves up in our head, like we all do it no matter what level you're at. New levels, new devils. I don't care. I mean, I work with, clients who make $0 in their business. I work with clients who make $110 million in their business, so it's like the range of it, but it doesn't matter where you're at. Everyone has mindset stuff to work through. Everyone has time management to work through. Everyone has all these different things to work through. And so just having a coach that can help you do that is just a game changer. It's just life changing. So then let's talk about what you like specifically about working with me, because I know there's so many coaches out there, and we all do it differently. Not every coach does it the same way. And I know that when you were on the real estate team, you also had a coach there that was helping you guys on the team and stuff like that. So you've experienced coaching in different aspects of business. And I'm just curious to hear, like, what do you like working with me specifically?
So first, your energy. You always show up present, full of energy, but also you get serious. You are serious. And you're a great listener, so you can like really hear what I'm saying, even though like it might be sandwiched. You're like listening to like what I'm really saying, and able to help me through whatever it is. If it's a mindset shift, or maybe we're like gonna persuade somebody into doing something for the business. you're just amazing, Tiffany. I don't know what else to say. My like, you need Tiffany for the rest of your life, and my husband's gonna get it, Tiffany too. Tiffany. No, seriously,
Yeah,
my husband was looking to get another coach, but he's gonna get you because you're so awesome. And we can't even see us not having you in my life, you in our lives. And also, you know, we're all about scaling our business, and you know, who knows what the future has, but if we do have more kids and I'm like, our business is so scaled that, you know, I don't need to be there. I mean, that's what our whole goal is to do. I still need you, Tiffany. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I want to be the best mom and wife I could possibly be. And it doesn't matter, you know, this is a whole life thing. And I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you too for showing up the way you do, because not everybody does, you know? And yeah, I think that's important because I've been trained a lot in the subconscious mind, and like I can like conscious language, and I can pick apart, you know, like I can see what you're saying without you saying it, you know, in your messages. And this is what a lot of my clients really like working with me, because I'm able to pull out pieces and be like, oh, no, that's not actually what you were just saying to me. This is what's happening underneath. And we get to the root of the issues and the challenges, and we pull things out from the root, and then we plant new seeds. And I think that's the value of it, because the coaching lasts well beyond, like, maybe you're sure I'm going to be on payroll forever for life for you, but maybe at some point I may not be, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so after, it lasts so much further after, because the thing is that we're literally like reprogramming your mind. We are, you know, changing your brain. We're literally like creating new neural pathways in the brain, and we're getting rid of all of the stuff. Like, think of your mind as a garden, you know, we're pulling out all the weeds and we're making all these beautiful flowers. And that's something that lasts forever. That is not something that just is temporary, you know, and not a lot of coaches understand how to achieve long lasting transformation with their clients. And this is why, like, the coaching with me is so powerful, because that is what I want to leave people with. I don't want to ever have people like feel like they need me. Like, I just want them to feel like they want me around, you know, on a desire based thing. And I want to leave people with the skill sets that they need in order to rearrange themselves however they need to do that, whether that's their energy or their mindset or their routines. Like, I'm teaching skill sets along the way that last forever. And so I think it's like, that's one of the biggest pieces. So I'm so glad that you said that. So then, anything else you want to share with people about your transformations and what you see for yourself? Like, what skill sets that you learned that are just going to help you in everything? Because I think that's another big thing that you said, is like, it's a holistic approach to success.
I want to say something about fear, because when you go to the next level, there's a fear that comes on, and I forget why you coached me on about it, but it worked, because you know, you go to the next level, and that's scary to go from here to here, but with all the tools and knowledge and confidence that you have, you can do it. And I don't know, it just seems less scary to go with it with a coach, because, you know, new things arise, and being able to talk through those things and actually write down the fears. Okay, why is this scary? Okay, why? And, you know, Tiffany and I went through this whole like exercise about what if, but like on a positive. What if? Because you can go the other way, but this way, what if this happened, and then this happened, and then you met this person? You know, it's just, the energy you bring out. I mean, I feel like there's no way that you could possibly fail, because or I guess you do fail, but like in a good way. I don't know if that makes sense. Sorry, Tiffany.
Yeah, no, like, fail forward, you know, because there actually is no such thing as failing, because you're always learning something. And like, when something doesn't work, right, the way that we wanted it to, we learn so much about what does work in the process, you know? And so I think, you know, to have that, I think it's like to have someone that catches you when that happens, so that you don't then go down, like spiral down, you know, and keep yourself like, oh my God, you know, because we can all go to Never Never Land in our mind when things don't work, and like, oh my gosh, and then I suck. Why doesn't this work? Like, why does it work for everyone else and not for me? Why did I do that? I made a dumb decision, or whatever the negative self-talk is. It's so valuable to have someone to catch you so that you just nip that in the bud faster, because it's such a waste of energy to just keep going down. Yeah. So anything else specific that you like tools that we use in the program, like resources, or I know earlier you said you love the time tracking process. Were there any processes or the way that we do things in the coaching program that you like that you want to share with people?
So I love that you record all of our, meetings together, because then
Mm-hmm.
you can listen to it. Because right after a meeting with Tiffany, it's like, yes, I can conquer the world. Yes, it's like you feel amazing. But sometimes you need to hear that a couple times and you forget what's going on. Like, they're so meaty, all of our meetings together. And so being able to like listen to it throughout the week, and also the call notes, and all the resources that you put in there, I really like that. Boxer, our weekly meet, like if I have something that I like, good news or bad news, I'm able to not call you, but box you. That's really cool.
Yeah, the call recordings, and that's something I'll touch on too, because I've had clients years later, they'll go back through and they'll listen to their call recordings again, because we cover specific topics, in all of our different sessions. And there is a lot to unpack, and we accomplish so much in like just 60 minutes. It's extraordinary. It's like, and like you're going to hear that content differently. So when you go and listen to like, when we did the breakdown of the persuasion situation that we wanted, like we were working through the skill set of developing higher levels of persuasion. And I was taking Brianna through this worksheet and this framework that I have. And just to go back maybe 3 years from now, if you have another persuasion situation that is even completely different, you're going to hear what we were talking about in such a different way, because we're always evolving, and we're not, the way that we look at things, like we're going to be wearing a different lens a few years later. And I have clients message me, they're like, hey, I listened to this, productivity session where we were talking all about productivity, and like all these things, concepts that we were talking about just landed differently now for me. And I went through and I, changed what I was doing now, and I got results. And so it's like, it's not just about the results that happen now. It's all these, tools and resources and call recordings and skill sets that you learn that are going to last forever. Those call recordings are never going to go anywhere. And you can always refer back to them if you ever have anything that you want to up level, especially like if we're just talking about emotional regulation in one of them, and you're going through a hard time later on in life. And that, you really want to lean into that. I think that's so valuable. And I know for me, I listen to my call recordings repetitively, because I'm like, wow, I want to hear not only what my coach has to say, but what I'm saying. How am I saying that? Why am I talking like that? Sometimes it's just an eye opener, and I'll message like you and say, I think you need to go and listen to how you're referring to that or whatever again, because when we hear our own selves saying things, sometimes we get breakthroughs just because we're like, wow, why am I saying it like that? Where is this coming from? What do I believe about that to talk like that? And just, I think that reflection is also so powerful. So I'm super happy about that you mentioned that. Anything that you want to say about your relationship with your husband, or how you're being, different in your relationship as a wife and as a mother? Because I know that category for you is so important, and we've done a lot of work there, but I don't think we've really painted a picture of the transformation that's been achieved, and you've done some excellent work in those categories. So anything you want to share there before we close out?
Yeah, I mean, being on the same page is huge, for my husband and I to meet and do we do our morning routines together, we do our night routines together. So being on the same page there helps us have a successful day throughout the day. And then also he listens to all my calls with Tiffany. And so, he's able to, implement what you've said. I know communicating with him has helped. Thinking about how I'm going to get across what I want, but in a way that he's going to receive it and be happy and feel loved and appreciated. That's huge. what's huge for my kids is when I'm working, but when I'm with my girls, I'm with my girls. And so being able to manage that time has been huge. You know, I don't have to work all day long. I can have boundaries, you know, a big one for me was not looking at email all day long. That was like so huge.
We went over that one a couple times.
What was that?
We went over that one a couple times, I think.
Yes, it was a huge game changer. But just having more time for my family and knowing what the goals are and knowing a work and time block in the time that I have so that when I'm not working, I'm like so satisfied up here because I did everything that I said I was going to do and I wanted to do because I was focused. That's been huge in my marriage and in, you know, raising my kids.
Yeah, and so much more like presence, you know. And I know that when you came to me, you were working like a mad woman. I mean, come on, it was like, what were you?
I couldn't even talk to my husband.
Yeah.
On my drives, I'm like, I gotta call this next client. Like, I have no time. And now it's like I have more business and I have more time.
Making more money, girl. That's amazing. So it's like the time freedom is so important because like that's what everyone really wants, you know, the time to spend with their family and not to be with their family and be consumed with what they got to do and the business stuff. Or, you know, even if you're not a business owner, but you're a CEO of a company or you're, you know, in corporate, like not thinking about work when you're not at work, like being able to compartmentalize things is so powerful and so important, because then you feel like sometimes you always have to be on if you don't know the skill sets to be able to separate those things. And you've done a lot of work in terms of productivity and time management and compartmentalizing and your routines and, you know, setting intentions and having a context for what is the mom that I want to be, like how, then if this is the ideal version of the mom I want to be, how do I then, you know, trigger that throughout the day? How do I live into that when I am with my kids? And I think that's so important. And you've done such a good job there. I mean, and being present with your husband and, you know, those conversations like are extraordinary because you have the capability now to say, hey, this is the type of wife I want to be. This is how I'm going to show up for my husband. This is, you know, I'm going to have the separation here. And this is how I want a relationship to be. And you just decided like, this is going to be this way. And now then you figured out like, how am I going to then produce this result? Like, how am I going to go get this result? So I think in the coaching, it's about learning the process of creating a result in anything. Because I think it's the same that we've done in every category of your life. It's just identify who Brianna wants to be in that category, whether it's business, relationship, for yourself, you know, how you were talking to yourself has completely changed your relationship with yourself, you know? And so all those categories really identifying like, well, what is that identity? And how do I live into that? Because you know what I'm talking about with the boss babe, CEO Brianna version. So I think it's like that identity work that's so important. And then it gives you a clear path and shows you like how you can then transform these categories. Because how we show up for these areas of our life is directly related to the results that we're creating. And so you've done a lot of that work, you know, at identifying like what it is you want and who you want to be there. So I really love that. And I think now, like you came to me working how many hours a day? Like 16 hours a day? Something like this, 18 hours. Like I was like, whoa, when we first started tracking your time, I was like, oh my goodness, are you sleeping? You know? And now like, how many hours a day do you think that you work?
4 to 5.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, that is like extraordinary. But you're also making just as much progress, if not more, and making more money. I mean, yeah. How's that feel?
Work in the morning, I have the whole day for my family and for my husband, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time and your energy and showing up and really being vulnerable and sharing personally your experience with working with me. It's such an honor and a pleasure to work with you. I mean, honestly, like, you're in my heart. We walk together every single day, and I'm so glad that you're in my world and that the universe brought us together, because that was no accident for sure. So it would be a pleasure to continue on as far as that we will go together, because I know we're not anywhere close to being done. We're only starting to scratch the surface, and we're on our second round of coaching. So like, the work that you've done is so extraordinary, and I really hope that this inspires people to see what's possible for them, you know. So if you're out there and you're working your little tail off, you're working 16 to 18 hours a day, you got no time freedom, you're not making the money that you want, you're not as present in your life as you want to be, your health is sort of on the back burner because you don't have time to really pay attention to all these different categories of life that really matter. You know that when you come work with me, you're in good hands, because we're going to be able to rearrange all of that so that you can really feel the health and energy. You can have the great relationships. You can have the bank account that you want. You can go to new levels with your business or in your career. And Brianna is living proof that that is all possible for you. And that was all done in just one round of coaching together, right?
Yes.
What are we going to do this next time around? I don't even know.
Uh-oh.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So is there anything that you want to say out there for people thinking about going for it? What would your final words be?
Yes, just sign up now, because Tiffany is the real deal. She's so good. I tell her that. Like, she just talks, I'm like, Tiffany, you're so good. Seriously, because she says everything that I need to hear and things that I don't even think I need to hear. So thank you so much, Tiffany. You are awesome. And thank you for always showing up as your best self.
Oh, I so appreciate that. So we will sign off for now. Thank you, everybody. If you've made it to the end of this, we appreciate you.